It's Bladnoch time. Yeah, so this was inevitable for these, really, wasn't it? Today, as part of the Christmas Advent Doodah Hickamo Thingawhatsit official title, we're doing a Bladnoch. So this is a little sample of a very special Bladnoch. We're going to be covering all 6 of these. A few months ago, the sample guys did a really fucking good deal. Wasn't the cheapest thing to pay for, necessarily. It was like 80 quid for like a Zoom tasting, but good God, did you get a lot for that 70 quid. I like Bladnoch. As people are quite aware, I've been quite a fan for a little while, and as a general rule, I like. Most recently, we've covered the Alinta on this channel before this, and the Alinta was fucking weird. Was weird. You'll have to go and check that video out. Yeah, let's go for the whole bottle. Why not? If you haven't already, but it was bonkers. I've come down on the side of I did like it. I did like it, but it is weird. It's not. Oh yeah, cool. That's universally lovable. It's very much a kind of, if you like what it's delivering, it's good. But this is not that. This is one of the 2022 single casks. Specifically, it's the first of the 2022 single casks, otherwise known as 2022/01. You see what they did there? Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, it's good. Yes. So yeah, I've put it in a fancy glass today because fancy glasses mean it's nice liquid. It retailed for, what does it say on the screen behind me there that I was trying to use as an auto cue, but I'm being really crap. What the fuck is that? 170 quid. There we go. That's how much a bottle of this would have cost you. And before having tried it, I'd have been like, oh, I'm not paying that for a whiskey. And having tried it in the Zoom tasting that we did, oh, it's lovely. Now, I'm going to read the waffle here, because again, I don't have a bottle to hand because it was £170. And doing all 6 of them is a difficult thing. I've tried reaching out to folk who might potentially have the collection in Edinburgh, and so far, I've not managed to find anyone that I can film the bottles of. So either I'll have succeeded by the time this comes out, or I won't have done, in which case, you're just going to have to live vicariously through this. Now, what is the point of this video? Because is anyone going to be buying these? No, they're sold out, unless you can find them on auction or something like that. But I've come to the conclusion that these videos aren't necessarily for people that are going to be trying the whiskey, like going out and buying it. It's almost kind of like living vicariously, like how people watch football and don't play football, or people that watch cookery shows that don't have a kitchen. These are very specific examples, but you get what I mean. Like I watch videos on YouTube, like Cruising the Cut. He's a guy that does videos about canal boats. I don't own a canal boat. I like what he does. I like his calming, soothing. I could never be accused of being calming or soothing. I'm way too off the wall for that. But he's a relaxing presence in a chaotic world. On the day I'm filming this, Russia, like, either accidentally or deliberately, we don't know yet at the time of filming this, hit Poland with a missile. I don't know how I'm laughing because this is not good. So Will might have been wiped off the map by the time that this comes, if indeed it even does see the light of day. So that's exciting. That's fun. Yeah, so I'll read the stuff on the website here. I'm just going to go a bit weird here because obviously normally my eye line would be here because the camera's sort of eye contact, but it's over here. So I'm just going to do this very subtly. Matured in a delightful sherry butt. Delightful. This aged malt, good. Display. I see. I'd already. I've got an issue with it. Of course, it's aged. It's whiskey. Anyway, displays decadent notes of dates, caramelized sugar with a sticky, sweet, and slightly warming finish. Distilled in December 2006, Cask 440 is bottled at cask strength and natural colour. Please note this product is limited to 1 per person. Well, that's fine because it's all gone now. Natural colour, non-chill filtered as well, and it was 50.8% ABV. I could have actually checked the bottle for that, couldn't I? Yep, 50.8% ABV. So that's fun. Now, back in the tasting, I did take extra notes on these, and since then, I don't know what I did with the notebook that I wrote these notes down on. So there is extra detail. I believe, if memory serves, it's an Oloroso, but if memory serves. There was one of them where they didn't declare what kind of sherry, but they did clarify that it was Oloroso. So, anyway, on Le Noz. Oh. Getting a big note of apricot yogurt, which is a weird one, right? Weird nosing notes seem to be going hand in hand with Bladnoch recently. But yeah, it's got kind of a slightly tangy dairy kind of a quality to it, and there is definitely an apricot presence in there, hence apricot yogurt. So that's what I do. I don't say, oh, it smells like apricots and yogurts. I smash the two together because that exists, baby. It's like, oh, it's like honeycomb and chocolate. Crunchy bars, they're a thing. Oh, it's chocolatey and caramelly. It's a curly whirly. See how we work here? It's about streamlining. It's about shortening the experience. It's about giving you your money's worth. It's about seeming weird. That's my brand, apparently. Also, I bought this jumper because I thought, oh, nobody else will be seen dead in that thing. The number of people I've seen wearing this, and I have to be like, because you can't really ask somebody to go home and change when you're walking down the high street. You can't do that. It's not. I mean, I could. A fair bit of like a brown sugar, kind of demerara sugar, kind of an effect to this. It's giving me a reminiscence of like freshly baked flapjacks. Something of toasted oats, sugar, a little bit of golden syrup in there as well. It's got a lovely sweet nose developing. It's a luxury sweet. Luxury is a terrible word for the, like, it's a wonderful sweet nose that it has. Caramel, biscuits, chocolate, little fruity. That kind of apricot yogurt thing is still kind of carrying on, but as you nose it, it goes more towards the sort of fat and sugar confectionery side of things. You know, the stuff that you know it's not good for you, but it's kind of good for your soul. You know, that kind of a lick of apple in there as well, just to try and make it healthy. There's like a tiny little bit of like a fresh apple note. And a hint of brown bread as well, just to kind of round it out. So it's interesting. It's got a lot going on, nose-wise. But we need to drink it now to find out what that's like. So, smoke me a kipper. It's not smoky, this. Molto bene. Whew. Oh, it does have a fair bit of heat to it. Straight away, there's sort of like a hot paprika kind of a note to it. There's a dry spice element. It's quite fiery as well. Now that could just be the spirit, admittedly, but it is reminding me a lot of has anyone ever put paprika on their chips? Just sprinkle paprika on? Just me? Okay, that might be a little too specific to me, but it's reminding me of just putting paprika on something, not mixing it into something, because obviously paprika is normally a constituent ingredient of a larger thing. But I have been known just to stick paprika on things and call it a day. So that might be... Did somebody else do that? Surely somebody else must do that. No? Oh, okay. You're missing out. Paprika's great. On the second sip, the sherry influence is coming in a lot more. You've got raisins, dates, figs, but it's a lot drier than the nose would indicate. It's not like a sherry monster, you know, your typical sherry monster where it's kind of like bang, like love sherry or die kind of a thing. This is a much more kind of nuanced and subtle. It's complementing the existing spirit. So you're getting more of you're getting kind of like floral vanilla notes of the base spirit coming through. And then you've got a lick of this fruity, chocolatey kind of an overcoat, for want of a better way of putting it. I'm going to stick a bit of water in this because it's quite a hefty number. And if memory serves, it'll it will benefit from a little. I mean, it'll help me anyway, if nothing else. You know, it's a spicy number. More of the initial spices are coming out on the nose now. You've got more of a kind of a clove, herbal, sage kind of a note in there as well. It's become a lot more grounded, a lot more, I don't want to say mature, because I mean chocolate's for anyone, but you get what I mean. You know, it's more kind of like of real cooking rather than grabbing a chocolate bar off of the counter at the checkout and calling it a day. Are they still allowed to do that? I don't know. I haven't got kids. I haven't got little things screaming at me all the time. Again, that paprika thing is still coming through, so it's not just a brain fart. Like, it's definitely reminded me of paprika. So if you like paprika, this would have been a good, again, it's difficult to get your hands on. You might be able to find it in a bar. There's a couple of, maybe a couple of bars in Edinburgh that I think, there's certainly one that I know have it in seclusion. They haven't gotten around to putting it on the shelf yet, but that's another story entirely. And then on the back of that, there is almost like this kind of faint cola element to it. Kind of like, you know how like cheap supermarket cola, after you've had it, you're kind of like, okay, is that kind of, is this making any sense? Probably not. You can't buy it, who cares? There is, I'm struggling to put my finger on it a little bit. There's an initial kind of I kind of want to call it a funk, but that's not quite the right word for it. What is that? It's reminding me a little bit of like walnuts now. Now that I'm kind of like dialing in on that particular initial note, it's reminding me of that kind of, you know, walnuts, they're delicious, but they have an odd flavour to them. You know what I mean? You know, it's kind of like, at first you're kind of like, oh, I bit into a plant, and then you're like, oh, I'm into it though. It's that kind of initial kind of like, oh, I bit into a plant kind of a flavour. I'm not going to say grassy or chlorophyll-y, because neither of those are quite accurate. It's a fresh walnut. It's a nice thing. It's good. It's a shame there's no real coffee notes in this, really, because coffee and walnut cake, dig it, into that. Oh no, I've accidentally finished £170 whiskey. Whatever shall I do? High five myself later on. This is a delightful whiskey. Now then, as this goes on, we'll be discussing more of the Bladnochs. We'll be discussing 6 of them, as it turns out, because I love myself, and I'm doing this for me. But let me know down below, do you follow the Bladnoch special releases, whether it be the Loch Maybury, the single casks, any other bits and pieces? Do you miss the new Make Spirit? Because that's becoming harder and harder to get your hands on now. They had a surge back when myself, Will, and Moa did the live stream a little over a year ago now. A lot of people went for the new make because it was the cheapest option. I'm consciously aware that is what happened there, but it's also kind of interesting. And I would like to see Bladnoch release more, because you could get it, and now I've kind of sat on it a bit too long, and you can't really get any anymore, which is a shame. But hey, that's on me. Thank you very much for watching. This has been fun, and I hope we had fun. Was this fun for you?